So how do you, as a construction business or a contractor, use your website to generate both cheap but yet qualified leads for your business? In today's video, I'm going to show you how most people get this absolutely wrong. Why they go about this the wrong way, which leads to absolutely horrible results, and them starting to question, well, how the hell do people use the internet to generate leads? You know, back in the day, everyone used Yellow Pages, but the Yellow Pages is pretty much gone now, so everyone's gone to the internet. But how do you generate leads online? Further on to that, I'm going to show you exactly how you can improve your digital marketing and your website specifically in order to generate tons of leads in both that cheap way, as I mentioned, and also in that qualified way. So it's going to be a really important video. Stick around to the end, because if you're a construction business owner or a contracting business owner, I've got something kind of uniquely special for you at the end that's completely free. So with that said, and without any further ado, let's jump over to my computer and we'll get stuck into today's training. So here we are back at my computer. Now, when it comes to any industry, there are horror stories. There are crooks in any industry ripping people off left and right, especially within the digital marketing space. I've seen more than my fair share because I'm in this space. Though I think there's a big difference when it comes to the digital marketing space, because people that get into the digital marketing space that are offering help to contractors like yourself or construction companies like yourself, they actually don't know that they're doing wrong by you. They have this, responsibility or this feeling that they are doing good work, but they fundamentally misunderstand how this whole digital marketing kind of machine fits together in order to produce your business or any business leads. So what do I mean by this? That so many people in this world, or in this my industry especially, think that traffic is all you need to get is just more traffic. But traffic, although it's easy to get, can be absolutely horrible in the order that it doesn't work. Now, why doesn't it work? It's because your website is absolutely rubbish. Now, that's not your fault. Most web designers or people that are in web development completely misunderstand what good marketing, what good psychology is related to your business especially. How do your customers think? Now, they don't know how to design a website in order to persuade those people into leads. That is the essence of what you want your website to do. But everyone else in this market space thinks, oh, just get more traffic. No, you'll only get more leads out of ignorance, not out of actual optimized marketing. Now, what happens is that this leads to the horror stories of Google ads not working or Facebook ads not working. Now, as you can see on the screen in front of you, you're probably thinking, why the hell have I got the Google ads revenue here? Is that Google ads has been growing every year on year, without any failure. They have not even come close really to even plateauing. So why are people putting their money where their mouth is? Because it works. Google ads works. When you get the recipe right, which I'm going to show you how to do in this video, it just simply works. And if you want to know exactly how to create the perfect Google ads campaign for you as a construction business or a contractor, somewhere in the link below, above, a link will appear to an actual training video on how to set up a successful Google ads campaign. Moving on to Facebook though, the same can be said. Look at their revenues. We're talking huge, absolutely monstrous growth in Facebook ad revenues. The same principle again. People are putting their money where their mouth is because it works. And the same thing applies with Facebook ads, is that if you have the right recipe in place, you generate good qualified leads at a very cheap cost. Again, I have a training video that some link will pop up somewhere in the corners just above me. You can watch that full training. It shows you how to craft every aspect of your Facebook ads strategy for your construction business or your contracting business. So one of the most important things that you can definitely do in order to grow your construction business or contracting business is to smash that subscribe button and like button, because it will give you access to the videos that I release weekly that will drastically improve the performance of your business. So with that cheesy little section being said, let's jump straight into the actual good training content. I think what a lot of people misunderstand about the website is it's actually like a salesperson, right? Or a sales professional. Now let's like hypothetically just role play a scenario really quickly in just 10 seconds. Imagine that you and I are in your business. 50 leads come in and I'm going to get 25 and you're going to get 25. Who's going to close more? It's going to be you by a horrid amount. I might get 1 or 2 deals out of complete ignorance and luck. You might close, if you're doing exceptionally well, half. But most likely along the lines of like 1 in 4, 25%, which is fantastic. But it goes to the bottom line that if I'm the salesperson, your business is going to be struggling. So your website is no different to a salesperson. There are good salespeople like you, and there's bad salespeople in the construction space or contracting space like me. Now you want the most, highly trained, like warrior-like, Wolf of Wall Street almost website for your business. Because when you are sending good qualified traffic to your website, you want that website to convert into leads, good qualified, highly motivated leads. Because if you can improve your website, it changes absolutely everything so radically. Just imagine if you're getting 100 visitors and you're paying $1 per visitor. Traffic's not the issue. You can buy traffic. Traffic's the easiest part of any kind of like marketing mix or marketing strategy. But let's just go back to the little scenario that I'm running with. You got 100 visitors, you pay $1 each per visit, $100. Now, let's say you and I are competitors. Now, your website converts at 1%. So you're only getting 1 lead and it costs you $100 for that lead. I'm converting at 4% and I'm still paying the same cost per traffic that you are. So I'm still paying $100, but mine is 4%, which is not high in this space whatsoever. So I'm paying $25 per lead. I can then grow much faster because I'm getting more leads, but I'm also getting more deals, I'm getting more referrals, etc. That momentum really starts to go really quickly. So how can you actually improve your website's kind of like salesmanship or conversion rate ability, become more persuasive? That's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to go through everything step by step so you can do this yourself to radically transform your business. So what we have here is a proven and successful construction and contracting based business marketing strategy that is just wildly successful. It works for so many different types of contractors and construction businesses in so many different countries. Now, what I want to do is just show you, well, first off, actually, if you go to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually get this strategy for free. No cost, no obligation, absolutely free. But just rewinding back for a second, everyone thinks that traffic is the issue. No, traffic is not the issue. Traffic is the easiest part. You can buy that. You can pay for that. Traffic's easy. It's getting that traffic to do what you want. And that's what I'm going to go through with you. And I'm going to show you how you can improve this. This is the fulcrum point, the website portion here. I'm going to show you how you can improve that to drastically go from 1 or 2%, probably where you are right now. Maybe you are a little bit better. But without doubt, you could probably, at the minimum, double your conversion rate, double the amount of leads without spending any more money. Spending no more money on traffic, but doubling your leads. Now, how good does that sound? So the first big mistake and an area for improvement with just about every contractor or construction business is the call to action. Now, when it comes to your call to action, it's really important to think about it as like a transaction. It's not a monetary transaction like someone's giving you money. But what's the value? Are you kind of like sleazy, slimy kind of salesperson that's just going to come and try and sell them wham, bam, thank you, ma'am style? No, you don't want to be like that. You want to offer some kind of benefit and set the expectation of what happens. People are expectation orientated. We see this with Uber. Taxis are absolutely falling off a cliff when it comes to the amount of business that they do. Where Uber is doing so much better because people can completely understand the expectation of when the Uber is going to arrive. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but it's completely transformed the business. Or I should say, the individual transport business by car or vehicle on its head completely, just by that little sense of psychology. Now, the principle of you thinking about the call to action like a transaction is hugely powerful, and do not underestimate this. I've seen good call to action transform a website ability to get leads by 22%. Just by this, just by changing the call to action. It's massive. Remember, when it comes to your website and your call to action, you're not actually trying to sell your service. I mean, the majority of you guys watching this video are selling either construction services or obviously contracting services. And some of these services are going to be the most expensive purchases that someone is ever going to make in their lifetime, or it's going to be certainly up there. Now, do you think someone's going to spend, single thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or potentially millions of dollars based on just information on a website? People buy from people. The goal of your website is to sell the initial contact point or the actual lead. Now, the way to do that is a very simple example. Here in this call to action, you see that we're setting the expectations with free advice in our home, explore all the options, and a couple of designs moving forward. Setting the expectation up, providing the value, worked tremendously well for these guys. Some other kind of just rudimentary things about your call to action is encapsulate the form. Make sure it's obvious to see. That is the key part that you want people to interact with. You want them to fill in your details. Further on with the detail aspect, don't ask for too much information. Less is more. So the more you ask for, the more it reduces the overall conversion rate. So less is certainly more. There is one caveat that if you're getting a lot of low qualified leads, ask kind of like qualifying based questions such as budget, for example. So if you're getting far too many leads that you can't handle, put that in there because that'll help pre-qualify, the not the tire kickers, because I think that's probably the way to go about it the wrong way, but the people that don't fit your business and your services. So here we come to proof and credibility. Now there's two reasons why people do not buy a product or service. One is they don't have the money. Now you can't give people money in order to buy your service. And if people don't have the money, that's fine. We move on. The second reason is they don't believe that you can do what you say you can do, be it either in person when you're selling or on your website. This is where the elements of proof and credibility are just absolute paramount. And it's a huge issue when it comes to construction business and contractors because for whatever reason, people neglect this area when it is so damn important. But here are some kind of key tips that I've learned over the past 12 to 13 years in order to really drastically punch up the power of your proof and credibility on your website. Now, the first one is before and after photos. They tell more than 1,000 words. People love reality TV, The Biggest Loser, things like that, where people transform. Now, people even more so, they love the transformation of homes. And if you're either building houses, show people the process. If you're remodeling or renovating aspects of people's homes, show them the before and afters. People love this. It's proof. Now, there are some little things that I've picked up over the years. And one is try and put yourself or try and have the photographer shoot you actually being in the kitchen, the bathroom or the home. Because if you get really good photography done, which I do urge you to do, people will think that it's stock photography. I know that sounds funny, but I've seen so many clients of mine say people think that our photos aren't real. So if you're in there wearing your company shirt with your logo on there, for example, people have no doubt that it's you. Furthermore, if you can have your actual clients in the photo with you, perfect. Just an absolute home run winner. Along with those photos, try and get testimonials. Hugely important. People love to hear what other people have to say about your product and service. And don't be afraid to tell people what you want in a testimonial. Ask them to be specific and things of that nature. Moving on to licenses, qualifications, member associations. These are all kind of like proof that you can actually do the technical aspects. These are really important because people that aren't in your industry or world, such as tradespeople in the contracting or construction world, they don't know how to evaluate you. So if they see tons of qualifications, member associations, licenses, etc., that's how they will judge you because they don't know how to ask the right questions or use their ears to say, this guy knows what he's talking about. They don't know how to do that. They don't have the knowledge. So this stuff is really important. Guarantees can be hugely powerful too. In some countries, depending upon the contractor or construction work, guarantees are mandatory, they're compulsory. But if they're not, can you build these in? Quite often, people do not use them whatsoever. So why not use them? It kind of inherently endorses your product, saying that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is in order saying that how good your work actually is. Next, brag about your track record. How many jobs have you completed? What awards have you won? Where have you been? What kind of publications have you featured in, etc. This, again, is, there's proof in numbers. If you've worked with 5,000 people over the last 10 years, that's 5,000 people that have trusted you. Where if you've only worked with 5, they're all skeptical. And only worked with 5 people, I don't know if I trust that. So, there's definitely proof and credibility in numbers. Now, this is one of the most forgotten areas of any aspect. It will be, most probably, the second highest viewed page on your website. Why? Because people buy from people in the construction world and the contracting world. If they do not trust you, they do not like you, they will not buy from you. Like an example is, if someone doesn't like you, they won't buy. You might have the world's greatest service. The words have never been uttered along these lines of, the person's a prick, hated him, a complete bastard, but did a great kitchen. That makes no sense. People, if they do not like you, they will label your service the same. Crap person, crap service. Now, you do not want to come across like that. And this is where the About Us page really helps. You want to try and tell the story of how you got into your industry. Share your values in the story. Show your key people in your teams. Definitely, you want to be including a headshot of yourself. People buy from people, and people believe people that they can see so much more. So if you're willing to have a headshot, it's like, this person's willing to put their own personal brand behind the product and service and the business. Very, very important. People hate it. All my clients hate it, but they do like, the increase in conversion. They do like the increase in leads that it brings, and I highly recommend that you do it. Having, obviously, your qualifications and licenses, as I spoke to on this page, can help it also. But your value proposition, how did you find your value proposition? I talk about the value proposition in a few minutes' time, but the value proposition is hugely important. You can talk about that on your About Us page. Now, because this is the second most viewed page on your website, it'll be second or third without a shadow of a doubt. Now, you want to move people onto the most logical next step. So someone comes to your homepage, most viewed page, comes to the About Us page, who the hell am I going to be dealing with potentially? What's the next step? Talking about either the actual service or showing them actual proof. Now, you can do both at the same time. Send them to like a before and after gallery style page where they can view, before and after images or finished work kind of stuff, or send them to a page where they can actually learn about the particular service that's at your core offering or services, etc. It's how you skin that cat is really dependent on how your business is set up and the different services that you offer, of course. Now, when it comes to the text on construction-based websites and contracting-based websites, it stinks, absolutely stinks. Now, most people are talking we've been in business for 150 years, we do this, we do that, nobody cares. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just, I made this mistake really early on in my marketing career, many years ago. So I know this mistake all too well. But people are they're self-interest orientated. So you have to appeal to that. The biggest and most important word you can use is you. You speak to the prospect. You get this, you get that. We do this, so you get this, etc. The you is such an important word. Remember also, benefits over features. Features can be a little bit too complex and they don't really impact, people's lives. The old analogy is people don't want the drill, they want the hole, So think of it like that. People definitely do buy benefits. And then pack emotion. Emotion, it drives absolutely everything in our everyday lives and even in our buying kind of experiences. We buy on emotion. So you want to appeal to emotion as much as possible and kind of like link it with benefits. So an example would be impress your friends and family with an absolutely stunning new kitchen. So people are getting that kind of status-based emotion and greed-based emotion because they will be getting a new kitchen that impresses their friends and family. Believe it or not, that is a huge reason why people get a new kitchen, new bathroom, etc. They want to impress, the key people in their lives. People are highly status orientated. I'm sure you've all noticed that, but it still just baffles my mind to the level that people are actually status orientated. Also, when it comes to your website, remove absolutely everything that doesn't support you getting the visitor to do what you want them to do, and that is to complete the objective of that page. So absolutely anything that could remotely, distract them. So, having like suppliers, people that supply key goods and services to your business, having links to the website, that's a big no-no. We do not want these people to leave. We're in a controlled environment on the website. We do not want people to get out. It's like a prison. We've got massive walls up. People are staying until we get them to do what we want them to do, and that's become a lead. Next, you need to know your customers and what they want and how they want it. So a lot of people sell the need, but the need's not always wanted. So a need is like, we'll move into like the accounting world because it's extremely obvious, is people do not want to do their taxes. That's a need, but they want more money. So don't try and sell the need to get your tax done. Sell the want is showing people how to get more money. So depending upon what area of construction or contracting that you're in, sell the actual want and not the need. Again, this is a principle that I see all too often that is just done the completely wrong way. And I'll put my hand up. I had done this wrong so many times early on in my career. So this is something definitely really important to pay attention to. And the last point I've already gone over, people do not believe what you say. So you have to prove it with different elements of proof and credibility. And the 2 reasons why people do not buy. And lastly, I have a quote. People will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. If you use this, even with your just day-to-day interactions, let alone how your business operates, you'll get along with people so much better. So you want to encourage people, get this brand new home, brand new kitchen, this stunning status-orientated benefit and emotion associated with the product and service that you deliver. You want to justify their failure. So if you're offering something where you're fixing something because perhaps the prospect made a mistake, you want to say it's not your fault. Something like that. Allay their fears. People are getting ripped off. So with their fears and suspicions, overcome objectives. Show them how you get around or overcome, or you don't perform a lot of the same mistakes that all the other people do in your industry. Very, very important. And people love people that hate the same people. So Democrats love other Democrats because they hate Republicans, and Republicans love other Republicans because they hate Democrats. Something like that. It's not always applicable, especially in the construction and contracting space, but something that's just kind of useful in everyday life. Now, this is the last one, but certainly not the least, one of the most powerful slides in this slide deck, and it's your value proposition. I like to think of it as a unique mechanism because it just fits my weird brain a little bit better. And the way I like to think about it is, what kind of unique way do you provide a better result than your competitors? Hugely important. And here I've got just a couple of steps that you can use to really bust out a really powerful, unique mechanism or unique selling proposition, unique value proposition. You want to describe your ideal prospect, be really thorough. And I like to give them names, like legit names of people, either really close friends or family that fit the demographic of the client that I'm working with. So I'll pick Jane, 35, etc. And how does she fit? What characteristics, behaviors? What does she think about in relation to your product or service? Really, really important. A couple of paragraphs. Really articulate who are they, what are they about, etc. Explain the problem that you solve. Now, you're doing this in a long-winded way because we'll cut it down at the end. But explain the problem that you solve. The drill and the hole. You've got a wall. You need a hole in it. Explain the problem, and use emotion in the problem because it's really important. People will buy on emotion. So input some emotion into that problem. List your biggest distinct benefits. What is so important or so desirable about working with you as opposed to your competitors. You want to define your promise. You drill the best damn hole that has ever been seen on planet Earth, and you promise to do that for each and every one of your clients, etc. And how do you prove that you drill the best hole? So what is the actual promise within your actual business and the service that you provide? Now, what you want to do is combine all this and rework it, and therefore you have your unique mechanism or unique selling proposition. Now, what it does is it allows people to say, I identify with this, that's me, you're talking to me. That's because you've described the ideal prospect. I have this problem, and you promise to solve it in this way and this is why you're better, this is the distinct benefits. And you make this, you can make it in different ways. You can have a headline with a sub-headline, bullet points. You can have a headline with bullet points. You can have a headline with paragraph text. It really depends on how you want to convey this information. It can be through video as well. But once you get this, it really does transform the way you go about your marketing and hugely pumps up the conversion rate of your website. So here we are, we've come to the end of the video, but there's one really key important aspect, and that is that I work with construction companies and contractors all around the world in so many different industries. Now, what I want to do as a thank you, and also as someone that you might, also as an aspect that you might be thinking about hiring someone in this world, is that I work with 2 contracting construction companies for free every month. For 30 days, I'll do absolutely everything for them, going through and implementing the exact strategy that I showed you at the start that has proven to be wildly successful for so many businesses. I'll implement that into your business for absolutely free for 30 days. There's no fee. You're not paying me a single cent. Also, there's no obligation. You're obligated to work with me for 1 day extra or 1 year extra. There's just no extra obligation of any sort. At the end of the 30 days, if you love the results, fantastic. We can continue working together. If you don't, we shake hands and we move on and we both carry on. No one has refused working together after the first 30 days. The results have been that good. Now, I only do this for 2 businesses. For the reasons is that it takes a little amount of time and I do all the work. So it takes a fair bit of time to implement the strategy. And with all the other clients that I'm doing work for and maintaining and optimizing continuously for, that I can only take on 2 new clients. So if you do want this special offer, all you have to do is visit this URL. It's appeared on the screen. Visit that URL or go down to the comments section or the YouTube video description section and click on the link and just input your details. You and I have a conversation. You can get a better feel for me. I can get a better feel for you. And if it works out, we can start the 30 days for free, and I'll do all the work myself. So before you go, if you've loved today's content and you want more like this in order to help, grow your business and generate more leads, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. It really does help me get, more viewership and more and slightly higher ranking within the YouTube algorithm. So I really do appreciate that. And with all that being said, I look forward to, presenting a new video in the near future. Bye-bye.